Hey book friends, this is Kat. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is my second to last video in the series, the book of the year series that I have on YouTube. And this is basically bittersweet. In some ways, I am happy that I'm going to complete the series that I've been doing, going through the book of the year books for the Christi Awards. And in other ways, I'm a little sad because there were some books that I probably would not have picked up had I not done the series. So this was really cool to find some new authors that I enjoyed, and maybe I'll do a different version of this for next year. So we will see. But for the book that I have this time, the book that I did end up listening to on audio this past month was The Secret Keepers of Old Depot Grocery by Amanda Cox. And like I said, I read this through audiobook from my library, and I absolutely loved this book. And I am here to say that I think Amanda Cox is going to be automatically favorite author for me. So I've only read 2 of her books, but both books that I have read from her have been 5 stars. And it's just the writing part, just the characters that she puts in her story, I've just really enjoyed. And yeah, so let me go ahead and tell you a little bit more about this book. So this book is a dual timeline, which for me, it can be a hit or miss because dual timelines, it's really hard to, for me to find one that I like where I am invested in both timelines and I don't get bored with one versus the other. And honestly, it's the present day one that usually I get more so bored with, but in this case, I was invested in both timelines. And actually, I think it goes into like 3 different timelines in a way because of just the 3 different perspectives. So there's that. This story involves 3 generations of women. You have the grandmother. Her name is Glory Ann. She is the one who runs the Old Depot grocery store. Then you have the daughter to Glory Ann. Her name is Rosemary, and she wants to sell the grocery store because the grocery store is not doing well. So she figures, let's go ahead and sell and actually receive a profit so that way we can retire, her and her mom, because they both own the grocery store. And so she's wanting to sell. And then the third woman is Rosemary's daughter, which is Sarah. And that's like the present day timeline perspective you usually see from. So Sarah is wanting to keep the grocery store. So her and her grandmother are trying to convince Rosemary to not sell. All right, so those are the 3 women. So basically, yes, it is about this grocery store that's not doing well anymore, but it's just done so much for the community that Glory Ann doesn't want to sell because there's a lot of memories, a lot of things that went into that store, and she just can't get find herself to sell it. And so that's the premise of the story. And then you go and you see what the grocery store means to each of these 3 women. And it was very emotional because right off the bat, you see Glory Ann's story. And Glory Ann's story, she misses her first love. And if this might be a tad bit spoiling, but I feel like it's in the very beginning of the story. So, and it's part of the summary. But if you don't want to hear, then here's forewarned that it might go a little spoilery. But Glorianne, she's pregnant with her fiance's child, and her fiance gets shipped off to Vietnam, and reports came back saying that he actually died overseas, and Glorianne is forced into a marriage of convenience because she has this child, and her parents were pastors, and so they felt like they needed to cover it up and just get her married off and moved into a separate town because they feared the child would look a lot like her late fiance. So she gets forced into this marriage, and if that is something you like, marriage of convenience, then I think you would really like this story. And then the plot progresses from there. And so that's Glorianne's side of the story with her life and like her growth. And Rosemary, you see her perspective growing up and her life within the store, and there is this secret that she's harboring within her that she doesn't want to say anything to really play a part why she wants to not have the store in her hands anymore, or why she stayed so long working within the store. And then Sarah, early on you see that she actually loses her husband, and she moves back, and she doesn't want to have the life that she did have with her husband, and you want to know why that is. And so that's her story. So overall, this book had lots of emotional moments. There are great references to, like, I would say forgiveness, and just how people handle grief, and what does that look like for each of the three women, how they handled grief, because they all go through something hard. And I'm trying to remember if there was a lot of scripture. I don't remember if there was a lot of scripture, but there were some references with scripture, and I thought it was very sound. And yeah, it was a really, really great book. I listened to it on one speed, or one time speed, and I was just enwrapped in the story. And there were some like twists and turns in it, some things that I didn't see coming, some things that I did see coming, and I just thought it was beautiful. And normally marriage of convenience romances, I don't always find that I enjoy, especially if the romance stems from one person holding on to an old romance and learning how to navigate the new romance or the marriage. So like if the person is in love with someone else but they ended up being with another person, but still holding on to the other lover, the old lover, I don't find that I like that typically, but this one I really enjoyed. So with that all being said, my rating for this was a 5-star, and I'm adding more books from Amanda Cox onto my TBR, and I would highly, highly recommend this book. Yeah, it was great, and the audio was fantastic. I would recommend that as well. So with that being said, it is time to look at our last book in the series, and I kind of gave a little spoiler in my October TBR video. It's a book that is in one of the readathons that I'm doing, but the book that I will finish this series off with is True to You by Becky Wade, and this is my first Becky Wade book. I've heard so much about her on YouTube, and I'm wondering if this would be an author that I would enjoy. From what I also know is it is a marriage of convenience as well, or maybe it's a love triangle. I'm not sure though, but I'm curious to see if Becky Wade would be an author that I would enjoy. All right, so that about does it. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye.